Christmas is love in action, brightening the lives of others, peacemaking, sharing, and bringing joy to the world. It's the reason for the season. Hi there, welcome to another edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm Carrie-Ann Smith. On the pages today, alternative meals at Christmas, plus a look at Christmas celebrations in Jamaica. All these and more to come as we turn the pages of the magazine. Stay with us.
Over the field we go, laughing all the way.
Driving in holiday traffic or really any other time of the year demands your constant attention and vigilance to make sure you get from point A to B safely. It's far easier to do that if you follow a few simple rules. Stay alert. Do not be distracted by your cell phone, any other gadget or passenger while driving. When traveling at night, park in a well-lit area and always keep your car doors locked, even when at a stoplight. Make sure you have enough fuel in case there's an emergency and you need to divert from your usual route. In the event that you feel threatened while driving, stay calm and do not react aggressively. Instead, drive to a busy, safe place or the nearest police station. Follow these few tips and navigate the busy streets safely this holiday season and indeed at all times.
Think of a Christmas feast with fresh, healthy, mouth-watering meals that are different from what we're all used to, but still full of flavor. Well, learn how to prepare it now. Come with me for part 1 of this healthy journey. Christmas is foodie paradise, the time when we look forward to our honey glazed ham, or sorrel juice, Christmas cake and pudding and all of that. But we need to ensure that everybody gets their fill at the Christmas table. We need to cater for those persons who are vegetarians or vegans and for those with chronic illnesses. But how do we do that?
Look at the amount of salt that you're adding to your food. Look at the amount of sugar that you're adding to beverages and to meals as well. And look at the amount of fats that you're using in preparation. One of the things that I always tell persons is, you know you have a party later on, remember it's what you eat for the entire day that counts. We want you to exchange calories.
Things for you to note and to put into practice. Now, I recently learned how to prepare a raw vegan meal. Well, thank you. And I'm going to show you some of that a little later. And then right after that, you're going to join me here and you learn how to prepare a traditional vegetarian meal. All right? See you soon.
Today we are going to prepare 3 major entrees. We're going to prepare a basic salad with curried coconut pasta. And we're also going to have some Brazilian nut cheese pate, as well as we'll just touch on some plantain in coconut cream. Firstly, we want to have a source of moisture. Source of moisture could be lettuce, right? Excellent base for your salad. So we have just chopped up some lettuce here. And we want to season the lettuce by just adding some scallion, chopped scallion here. So about 1.5 tablespoons of chopped scallion. And then we follow that up with some chopped sweet pepper, which adds wonderful color to the salad. So I'm adding 2.5 tablespoons of chopped sweet pepper. And then I find also when you have like a source of excitement in your salad to stimulate it, ginger works very nicely as a spice. So just sprinkling a little bit of ginger in your salad here. And then we're just gonna turn it around. We take the medium meat of a jelly coconut, scoop it out carefully so that you're not breaking it into pieces. And then we just shave off the fibrous parts of the back. And then we can just take a slice and we can roll it, just like this. And then after rolling it, we want to just slice it thinly. So we start to get these pasta-like strips. To turn it into curry, what we want to do is to add a little bit of curry powder, and the amount of curry you add is based on how curried you want it to be. Then we want to add a little bit of salt to the curry. And then we want to add a little bit of pepper, a half of a teaspoon into the mix. And then we want to add a little oil. So I'm just adding about a teaspoon and a half of coconut oil. And then I'll just simply mix it together. And as I mix it together, notice it's beginning to look like curry.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish.
So what we do, we use here 3/4 cups of Brazil nuts in our food processor with an S blade. And then we simply add 2 cloves of garlic. And then we add a little bit of salt, just a pinch of salt. We're making a cheese, so you do need that salt there. Now we want to just process it to the point where it's smooth but not clumpy. We want to get it fluffy, okay? And when you taste it, it should not be too crunchy either. Then this is our Brazilian nut cheese, which we will then place into a sliced tomato. So here we have husked out the gut of 2 tomatoes, and then we'll simply now fill them with the cheese to give you a Brazilian nut cheese pate.
Not even 1 cent to buy a little toy. We dance and rock it to the ice mounds. We rub it and scrub it to the ice.
And then we just make some thin slices. And we are going to use a little bit of cinnamon powder to just add a little flavor to this plantain. Just a dash of cinnamon powder. And what we're going to do, we have just simply chopped up some dried coconut meat. We're going to place it into the juice extractor so that the cream from the coconut meat will just come out onto the plantain. The trash will come out at the other end. Now we want to do enough coconut so it really moisturizes the plantain. Okay, sort of like almost covers it with fresh, yummy coconut juice. Now just for artistry, place it at the 4 opposing points, thus completing our raw vegan salad, our main course.
This is good. So come in here.
Take your time, take your time.
Well, can't talk. Too good. So come back later.
Tidings not the jet bring you. Pan a broke pocket dear. We wish you a
Yes, I know you were promised another serving, but you'll have to tune in next week Tuesday to get your taste buds tantalized some more.
Holidays are here for us to enjoy ourselves, and the best thing to do is just try to relax, enjoy yourself. You know, don't really overdo it, do everything in moderation, and try to be as safe as possible. Take care of yourself and take care of the other persons next to you.
And all the chicken they my try fi spy. Fi see is which one of them is going to fry.
Hello, good day. I am Chef Williams, and I'll be showing you today how we'll be preparing a picnic ham. Now, first thing, we're going to remove it from the plastic bag, Because I've seen people cooking it in the plastic bag, and trust me people, it doesn't work that way. So you remove it from the plastic bag, place it in your baking pan. Now what you really need to do is add a bit of water to this, because it will stick and burn if you don't have some moisture to help cook it. I'm going to throw at least 2 cups of water in this baking pan. Simple and easy as that. And that's the first step to start steaming off your ham. Next, start your oven up. Put it at 350. You preheat, and then you move on. When it comes up, you put your ham in. It's almost there. So you can put your ham in and close them up. Now a ham of that size is approximately 3.96 kgs, at least 8 pounds. This will take at least 15 minutes per pound. 15 times 8 there is approximately 4 hours within that range. So we're going to use at least 4 hours to steam that off. After that, then we're going to do the finishing product.
Is which one of them is going to fry?
Okay, and we're back. Now, what we'll be doing is removing the skin from the ham gently, and just let it cool down a little bit before you do that. Add some cores to that. You can add some cloves if you wish, or if you don't like cloves, no problem. A little mustard is good, to just give you a little moisture, little flavor. And more flavors are always good for you. We use a bit of cinnamon sugar, which is about half a cup of cinnamon to a tablespoon, half a cup of sugar to a tablespoon of cinnamon, sorry. And you put that back in the oven to finish off. There you go. Now, after we're finished with that, we'll be dressing the ham with a little pineapple, cherries, and a little parsley. Okay, now your ham is golden brown and beautiful, just ready for eating. But before you start to eat, we need to just garnish and let your ham be more pleasant to the eyes. And you can just garnish this up with a little cherry, pineapples. You can just use some toothpicks to fasten this to your meat. There you go. A nice, well garnished ham for your Christmas.
And all the chicken them a try fi spy.
Christmas celebration in Jamaica is unique. The togetherness of communities and families, dressing up the home, preparing the feast, the parties and religious ceremonies. There's nothing like a Jamaican Christmas, from old time till now.
I know where I'll be for Christmas.
Busy shopping malls teeming with people. Holiday bargains on the coolest gadgets, office parties, and tiresome traffic snarls jamming every street. It's Christmas time in the city, any city, from Kingston to Montego Bay and every major town in between. The hustle and bustle, it wouldn't be Christmas without it. But there are folks among us who remember a time when there were no traffic jams, no busy shopping malls, and certainly no Blackberries or iPods. Yes, the pace at Christmas time was slower then.
But it was oh so sweet.
Christmas is a time for all to smile. There's no winter time.
It's a different world today altogether. It is.
Long before Maud Wright became the matriarch of her family, she was a sprightly young girl romping around the Manchester community of Harmons. Her family, like many others in the district, eagerly anticipated the Christmas holiday.
Before Christmas Eve came, they'll have a special animal, which is goat or a pig, which they say that's for Christmas. And that you would call that a feast on Christmas Day, because they'll kill that pig or goat, and sometimes it's both. And it's a feast. All the goodies you can think of, potato pudding and cake as well, Christmas cake.
And the little ones, eager to help, would watch and learn.
Whenever they need any help, you're there, help stirring it, because it takes a lot of stirring. Because in those days, you didn't have the gadget as what you have now. You have a spoon, special spoon, a wooden spoon, and a big bowl.
Clarice Watson, affectionately called Miss Willell, recalls the Christmas rooster and the Christmas morning routine in her grandmother's house in Sillington, St. Elizabeth.
That's the only time we get 2 halfpenny bread.
With hot chocolate tea sipped from a condensed milk can. Later, the fatted fowl was the main item on the menu.
We never know about chicken and those things. We know about fowl, along with gungo rice and peas. And the drink would be sorrel.
And after all that fine food, some entertainment, the fife and drum. Picnics with family and friends.
Those days when you have picnic, you have people play cowhead, dance cowhead and those things. And masquerade come from other parishes. They used to have go round, make out of wood. The horses was made out of wood with a piece of iron in the middle, bolted top and bottom, that it can't drop off. And then, if you want a ride, it's a penny for it. They had grease pole. It's a bamboo thing, tall and a light pole. And there was a bag put up there with a quart bottle of rum, £1, and somebody go and volunteer to climb it and take it down. And I mean, the person sometimes would reach 3/4 and then just slide down because it's grease. So it's very slippery.
Like many children, little Willell was afraid of the Junkanoo.
I can remember the first time seeing the masquerade thing. I went to shop one day in the same district, and a truck passed me with some people, and that drum man, them dress up with masks and so many things. I look at them because I didn't stop, it just passed. I'm afraid of them. Knowing that the children are afraid, them hide behind the door. And when I ask for what I want and come out, I'm hear one sound behind, and when me look, me see one of them. I would run on the road. I run all through the wire, this ball through the wire them so. And I've gone like jet.
Then there was Grand Market, where the children would get gifts.
And you're so happy with those things, the balloon, your thing called Fifi, or Starlight.
Christmas time also meant cleaning and decorating.
Those days, we have a board floor house, and we clean it with coconut brush. People used to boil dye from hackberry chip and cashew and those things, and then boil it days before and have it there. Them said, "Well, make it ripe," and when you rub off the floor with it wet, it's pretty. And then the polish at the time was beeswax. You warm it on the fire sticker and the lamp, and rub it on the brush, and then you rub it on the floor. The floor shine and pretty.
All the trees, like all those are, I call it whitewash. It's a sign that Christmas is near because everywhere you go, it's so lovely, so beautiful.
More than anything else, though, Ms. Maud and Ms. Willell remember Christmas as a time when people felt safe and free.
We were so happy. No care, no fear.
You don't have any fear, so will anybody go and do you anybody anything? Everybody take things as, joke and so on. Those were really good times.
So many fond memories. The food, the family, the fellowship. The good old days may be gone, but the great thing is we can always make more. So whether you're in the city or in the country, create some memorable moments with your family this Christmas.
Jamaica, there's hot sunny weather, and people are warm and friendly all the time. Now it's the Christmas season, and the fun jar done, so have a joyful Irish Christmas in the sun. It was a silent night, holy night, holy night, all is calm, all is calm, and all so round, round and virgin, round young virgin, mother and child, holy, holy.
A recap of the major news stories of the week next. Hi there, I'm Simone Wolf with your JIS News of the Week. Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller this week expressed their confidence in and commitment to the Partnership for Jamaica process.
I want to publicly declare my personal commitment and that of the government to the dialogue with all sectors of the society through the Partnership of Jamaica.
The Prime Minister's declaration followed a meeting of the National Council of the Partnership for Jamaica on Tuesday. Mrs. Simpson Miller says the members restated their commitment to the partnership and agreed to take steps to strengthen its structure. The Prime Minister was speaking on Wednesday at a titling ceremony in Clarendon. 40 residents were presented with land titles to the Havana Heights Housing Scheme Phase 3 by the Ministry of Transport, Works and Housing. Earnings from stopover arrivals for the first 10 months of this year have increased, standing at $1.7 billion. Tourism Minister Dr. Wickham McNeil says that through the recently established Tourism Linkages Hub, work is being done to spread those earnings with the other sectors of the local economy, such as agriculture, manufacturing, entertainment, and transportation.
The hub also facilitates the sharing of information between local suppliers and tourism interests on the types and quantities of goods and services required.
In the meantime, well over 1 million air seats have been secured to accommodate tourists expected to visit Jamaica during the winter tourist season, which officially started on December 15. The winter season is also expected to record 611,515 cruise passengers, or a 5.6% increase over last winter. As for the 2014 calendar year, Dr. McNeil says the numbers are strong.
For the period January through October, Jamaica welcomed over 1.7 million stopover visitors. For the month of November, preliminary estimates point to a 6% increase. And if we continue on a similar growth path this month, we can expect another record-breaking year, as we will again surpass 2 million stopover visitors in a year.
Government is close to introducing new, simpler incoming immigration forms to reduce the time Jamaicans spend in the airport when returning to the island. The project is being spearheaded by the Ministries of Tourism and National Security.
We have signed off on the new forms, but there are, one or two issues as always, but we're moving on that.
Which will hopefully make the incoming immigration run that much more smoothly.
$74 million has been allocated to the Rural Electrification Program REP to bring electricity to more deep rural communities. Energy Minister Philip Paulwell says the funds are coming from the Petroleum Corporation of Jamaica, and the aim is to reach the 3% of the country that is still not connected.
We are going to take light across the length and breadth of Jamaica. Next week, we're going to be switching on electricity in Central Westmoreland to show that it was not campaigning, we mean everywhere.
Minister Paulwell was speaking at a ceremony on Monday to officially turn on lights in Evergreen, Brooklyn and Miketown in northwest Manchester. The Ministry of National Security is now able to fully roll out the third phase of the Citizen Security and Justice Program, CSJP, following the signing of agreements valued at $55 million. CSJP-3 is being funded by the Inter-American Development Bank, the United Kingdom's Department for International Development, and Canada's Department of Foreign Affairs, Trade and Development. Finance Minister Dr. Peter Phillips outlined the continued benefits of the crime prevention program.
To improve behaviors with respect to non-violent conflict resolution, to make young people more equipped with skills that can be used in the modern labor market, and to increase access to justice services and community-based justice services.
And finally, the Bustamante Hospital for Children was recently gifted with $9 million worth of life-saving medical equipment and supplies. Health Minister Dr. Fenton Ferguson says the donation from the Japanese government will go a far way in improving services at the Children's Hospital. He says it supports government's commitment to improving the lives of the nation's children.
Children are the future of this country, and so every effort should be made to protect them, preserve their rights, and provide for their needs.
And those were some of the stories making news this week. I'm Simone Wolf.
I find out that this program is a very good program because the purpose of this program is to target inner city youths that drop out of school, never get to make much of themselves. So this is like a second chance.
It's a good look and they need to try it. They need to try it because that is the way right now I'm seeing true life. Because going to angle gun the other way, it doesn't make no sense. You're gonna die.
What I'd have to say to the younger folks like me in the inner city, I will tell them that young is a dead end, and right now them for leg off of the negative energy and try to make something of themselves, try apply themselves as a better man in society so them can be able to provide for them youths and them family without have to do anything illegal or police have to look for them or nothing like that.
The Citizen Security and Justice Program, CSJP, an initiative of the Ministry of National Security, empowering unattached youth in volatile communities while promoting peace-building initiatives.
And that's it for today's magazine program. Remember to make safety your priority and philanthropy a virtue. Keep the link. Tell us what you thought of the show. Send an email to jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jm or hit us up on Twitter @JISNews. Also, click on our website jis.gov.jm for the very latest government information. On behalf of the team here at the JIS, I'm Carrie Ann Smith, inviting you to join us again tomorrow for more information you can use. Until then, take care and thank you so much for watching. Walk good.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.